Welcome to Bunnahabhain Distillery. Today, I'm sitting down with Andrew Brown, the distillery manager. Let's go inside. So tell me what Bunnahabhain means to you. Like, what's the ethos of the distillery? And maybe preface it with the correct pronunciation as well.
The pronunciation is actually quite good. It's actually Bunnahabhain. So Bunnahabhain means mouth of the river, and that's the mouth of the Margdale River, and that's just what it means. Back in 1881, the distillery was purposely built here. It was built here for the water, but a lot of folk think, well, that's because of the fresh water we use, spring water we have a good fresh water. No, it's actually because of the sea. If you look at Bunnahabhain, it's actually a horseshoe bay. So we have a safe mooring with deep water. We have our own pier, so everything was shipped in and out by then. And Bunnahabhain, when it started off in 1881, was a typical Islay distillery. It produced a typical Islay style. We had our own kilns up until 1963. Everything was peated. In 1963, the distillery was modernised and the type of whisky it made, it was changed. It became an unpeated stone has been it's a gentle taste of Islay for years. And then in 2003, we were bought over by, it's now Distillery International, but back then, Master Distiller, a guy called Emma Cookson, wanted to reintroduce doing peated whisky. We tried it in 1997 and it didn't really work for the distillery. But in 2003, we started doing it again. And over the years, we've gradually done more and more every year. But Bunnahabhain is still known for being Islay's unpeated giant of a distillery that sits away in the north corner that no one ever sees or comes and visits. And over the years, we've been quietly sitting here producing between 1 million and probably in the 2000s, we built up to about 2 million. This year, 3.1 million. Next year, 3.5 million. Yeah, we're just currently trying to just edge it on, and again, we're trying to take it back more towards the unpeated. We're just doing a very select amount of peated whisky every year, and just laying a very small percentage of that down. But for ourselves, for our own stock, we're looking at doing unpeated and using a lot of sherry casks.
Yeah.
A lot of sherry casks.
Do you get some sherry with the sherry casks? Or?
Occasionally there's sherry and the sherry casks. Yes, there is occasionally. We do tend to use a lot of really good first fill sherry casks. So if you get into our warehouses, most of the casks in there are sherry casks or very, very old Bunnahabhains that we haven't put off-site. So 2017-18, we demolished 4 warehouses and shipped 13,000 casks off-site. So now we have kind of hand-selected all the casks that we have on site. We just try to keep as much of the sherry on, and we have quite a lot of old casks. Oldest cask on site today, 1976. There are about 7 or 8 of them, some 77s.
So you've been with the company for over 30 years now, well, with the distillery for over 30 years now. What is that like to be in one single distillery for so long? Because I can imagine there's been a few proud parent moments where you see casks that you laid down that you're bottling now many years later.
There's been some really, truly great casks that have been bought over the years, laid down. There's been some, there's 1971s that were laid in a warehouse, laid in before I started, but during my tenure it was bottled as a 40-year-old, and it's, to this day, it hasn't been beaten by any other whisky that I've tasted.
So that's a standout from your tenure?
That's a standout.
71 40-year-olds?
That was one. Yeah, I got to taste that one. It's £2,000 a bottle. Over the last 10, 12 years, tried to bring a distillery on, put 2 brand new stills in, lacquer distillers at Christmas Day for the first time in 25 years.
Wow. Since
it had been polished and lacquered, but we've been replacing a lot of copper work. Yeah. Changed out a lot of washbacks. Number 2 wash still, we replaced it last year. Hadn't been replacing them my whole tenure. We don't know when it went in.
Because with the stills, like, obviously you're heating them for years on end and they're wearing down and whatnot. Is that common that you don't have to replace the stills here at Bunnahabhain very often?
I had a conversation with one of the coppersmiths. So we actually thickness test of copper. And one of the first times we got him in to do it, he checked the copper and he went down and he says, you know, some of the copper that's in this still is thicker than we would actually build now. So we don't know. He had a theory, I had a theory.
So in your role as a distillery manager, it's the little things like that, replacing valves. Obviously, we just saw you doing the forklift for the barrels, moving the barrels. We think of a distillery manager and it's like, yeah, they oversee everything, but what does it involve beyond that, you know?
Kind of short staff. We get someone off sick just now.
Yep.
So that's left a short staff. And we've also got someone off on holiday. Yep. So I was running the stills yesterday. I was running the stills Saturday night. I was out night shift, running the stills because someone else was on holiday. This morning we don't have any engineers. So I knew the valve was there, strip it out, replace it, get it back in and get back up and running. So it's kind of hands-on. It's a multi-role, you know. It's planning, it's doing reports, but it's also at times needed, you know, putting on a pair of gloves and going and pushing a cask.
Yeah.
If that's what's required to get the job done, to get the work done, then, you know.
Yeah, amazing. That's cool. Feis Ile is coming up very soon. What's your favourite part of hosting the festival, and what day is Bunnahabhain Day in the festival as well?
Friday the 3rd of June, I think it is, or the 2nd of June, this year. Favourite part? I probably it's quite strange, getting to meet new folk and then getting to meet them the next year. Folk come back every year, we see the same faces every year and it's good to see them. There's people that come from all over the world, America, Finland, Sweden, Germany. We have folk, Islay. That we might not see from one of the years tonight. One of the things we used to do, it's actually quite good. So we used to, one of the festival tastings we done one year was future festival bottles. So basically we had, on the blend had lots of different bottles that she was thinking about doing, and Cass was thinking about doing. So I don't know, well, let's bring them to the festival. So we took them to the festival and we actually took them to the festival class, 100 people. I went, right, tell us what you like and what you don't like. And they were like, what? This is going to be the next year's festival release. You're going to tell us what you want. You're going to pick the cast. Last year's bottle, we done one for the festival last year called Bunnahabhain Avanari. Mm-hmm. So I named it. So Bunnahabhain's got 2 water supplies. So we have our own natural spring. It's located 2 miles up in the hill, which is capped, piped, 2 holding tank, holds 300,000 litres. Sounds a lot. It's 1 day's production. And then it comes to the distillery. But we have another Loch Stusha, where the water comes down the Avanari burn to our weir, our dam, and from there it's piped to the distillery. So they're looking for an name. I says, well, Avanari is, actually the burn that takes the cooling water to the distillery. So without the Avanari, there'll not be much Bunnahabhain. No. And if you go back in the history of the distillery, the Avanari was actually where all the production water came from up until about 1955 when the spring was discovered and piped in. One of the things that we done it for a couple of years, so we did a big revatting of casks. So we had casks that wouldn't say some of them weren't the best casks in the world, some of them were actually truly magnificent, but they were vatted together and they were refilled in. So one year we emptied 1,200 hoggies and we refilled it into another 1,200 casks. Because a lot of it was barrels that was put into. But we got about 1,000 barrels. And in this 1,000 barrels, that were all supposed to be bourbon, there was a rum cask. So I kind of marked up, says what it was. It got stowed. So I'd sent the head of Airisman out to get a sample of it one day. And it worked really well. Yeah.
Is that something you think...
Oh, it worked well, I would do it again.
Yeah?
Yeah, I would do it again if I can get the cask.
Whether the rest of the team knows or not.
Yeah, just have to get them to buy them. I think it's the first time we ever done rum at the distillery, and it worked well for the repeated spirit.
Thank you so much for sitting down for the filming, and it's always so exciting to speak to a distillery manager because you're here every day on the ground, for every drop that comes through. So yeah, it's real special.
And it feels like it.
Yeah,
It's a 3 o'clock on a Sunday morning when the phone goes, thinking, no, what's wrong now?
On call 24/7.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except this weekend, I'm off.
Yeah.
I'm off. I've been out that long, so
Yeah.
I think 120 hours in 2 weeks was enough.